Many of you have asked me about model and property releases. Do I use them when I submit my own photos and videos? And the answer is yes, I always do. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about model and property releases, what they are, when you need to have one, how to access them easily across all the stock sites, and how to work around them if you can't get access to the forms or if you can't get the right person to sign those forms. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Beth, and this channel is all about how to make a little bit of extra passive income if you are a photographer or a filmmaker. So each and every month, I sell my own photos and videos through stock agencies online. So when customers buy my photos and videos to use in their own projects, each and every time they do that, I make a little bit of money. And every month that adds up. So this channel is all about how to do that from start to finish. And in this series, we're on number 4 in this video, you will learn every single step of the way what I do as a stock contributor, as well as just some helpful tips and tricks along the way. So be sure to subscribe, check out the other videos if you haven't already. I will leave links to them in the description box below. So let's talk about releases. And I just want to preface this by saying that I am not a lawyer and I'm not giving any legal advice in this video. I'm simply sharing with you what I've learned about releases as a stock contributor. So when you are selling your own photos and videos online as a stock contributor, what you're doing is giving away the right, the license, for whoever buys your photos and videos to use them in their projects as they wish. So when we do that, we want to make sure that we're not violating any copyright laws, we're not violating anyone's privacy. It's really important, and the stock sites are strict about this because they're trying to protect you, your models, or your private property, and they're trying to protect their customers that are purchasing those photos and videos. They just don't want anyone getting in trouble when they don't need to. So it is really important that you know about model and property releases and that you know how to use them. So when do you need to have one? If you have a person in your photo or video, you probably are going to need a model release. The technical language is that anytime that there's a recognizable person, meaning you can see their face, you can see the side of their face, their profile, or any recognizable clothing, posture, anything like that that distinguishes a person and you might be able to tell who they are, you need to have a model release attached. And there's a different model release for anyone who's under the age of 18, so we'll get into that in just a second. But just know that anytime that there's a person's face or likeness in your photo or video, you definitely need to have a model release attached. For private property, it's a little bit trickier just because it covers so many different categories. It's not just the place where a person lives. So Shutterstock has given us a list of common places that you'll need a property release to get you started. Here are a few of them. Scans or photographs of artwork, modern architecture, building interiors, unique and/or custom designed luxury boats, vehicles, airplanes, etc., recognizable animals like racehorses, unique pets, certain zoo animals, etc. Photos and videos of building exteriors taken from private property. Public places with photography policies, most stadiums, museums, amusement parks, etc. Famous landmarks and historic locations. These will vary from site to site, and Shutterstock does provide a master list of places that you will need a property release form for. So you can find a link to that in the description box of this video below. So now that we know what a model and a property release are and when you need one, let's talk about how to get those forms filled out and then what to do if you can't get access to that. Because as you can see, especially with property releases, there are a lot of cases when it's going to be really difficult to get the right person to sign that form. If you're in a museum, a stadium, a really big public venue like that, it's going to be nearly impossible to get the right person to sign your property release. So what do you do in that case? So each website has a different form that you'll need to fill out for your model and property releases. And I'll leave links below for Shutterstock, Pond5, and Adobe Stock. You don't need to fill out each and every one. You can fill out a general model release and most of those sites will accept it. So I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But if you want those specific websites and their model release forms, I'll leave you some links below so you can quickly grab those and download them and fill them out. You'll need some information about yourself, the photographer, and then you'll need just some basic information about your model, their name, address. You're going to need their signature and a witness signature as well. There is an app that I'm going to show you guys at the end of this video that is so easy to use. You can bring it on site with you and people can easily sign on your phone to fill out those releases, and then you can simply upload those to the stock site. So it's really quick and easy to use, and I'll show you that in just a bit. But let's talk about that scenario when you can't get access to especially a property release, but also a model release at times. Let's say that you're filming in a busy street and there are a ton of people walking around. There's no way you're going to be able to get model release forms filled out for all of those people. So what do you do in those cases where you simply can't get access to those signatures? When you're submitting stock photos and videos, there are two different types of licenses that you can submit. You can do commercial licenses or editorial licenses. A commercial license means that whoever buys your photos or videos, they can use them to promote or sell products or services. An editorial license, however, is reserved for news outlets, journalists, anyone who wants to use your photos or videos for an article or a publication that relates to the news. So if you are in public and you have a lot of people, if you're in a stadium, museum, things like that, places where it's restricted and you're not going to be able to get those proper release forms, you may consider submitting your work for an editorial license. This may also be helpful if you have a certain product, logo, trademark in it that you simply can't get a private property release form for, but you're getting that copyright restriction on. You could consider submitting it for editorial footage or photos. Keep in mind that when you're submitting your content for editorial licensing, that it actually makes sense. It's not just a free-for-all that you submit everything that won't fit the commercial license. You need to make sure that your photos and videos are going to be something that a journalist or a news outlet would be interested in. And remember that there are still some restrictions. But I wanted to give you another option if that does make sense for your photos or videos and you can't get the proper model or property release, that may be another option for you. When it comes to filling out the proper forms for model and property releases, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to leave you links in the description box below for all the different major sites that I use. You can download those and fill them out. You'll need some basic information about yourself, about your model, or about the property. And then you'll also need a signature from the model and or sometimes a witness. So I'm going to walk you guys through how easy it is to use this app on your phone to create model releases. It's called Releases and you can find it in the App Store. Once you open it up, you can start by entering your photographer info here. And then once you've done that, you can go on over to Releases and hit New Release. And then they give you some preset options here, which is really nice. You can do the ACMP, is just a general license for media photographers. That should apply across most of the sites. And then they also actually have Shutterstock releases as well, which is nice. So we can start with the Shutterstock adult model release, and you'll see that you'll have details you need to fill in here for shoot name, shoot date, and shoot medium. So we're just going to keep this really generic here. And then you're going to hit next and you're going to fill out that information about your model. You can select what ethnicity your model is and then hit next. Here you can upload a photo of your model, hit next. And here is where you'll put in the name of your witness that needs to sign as well. And the other nice thing is that you can save these witnesses or models. You can use them in the future if it is a model or a witness that you use often. So let's go ahead and hit save, and then that's going to take us to our Shutterstock form. And you can see that all of our information has been loaded into the form for us, and we can go ahead and sign. You can sign your photographer, model, and witness signature. And then when we hit sign, you'll see that there's an easy way for you to sign, as well as for your witness and your model to sign. And then when we go to send, that is going to send you either by email or cloud this document. So you can either print it off or you'll have the digital copy of it that you can attach when you get ready to submit your photos or videos online. So just a really handy app that you can use across any site, and you can bring it on location with you. So it's really nice. I highly recommend. It's called Releases and you can find it in the App Store. I do want to add that from time to time, the computer algorithms that review our footage and photos, or the person reviewing, might be extra strict, or it might be flagging something in your video that you think is incorrect and you're not getting it accepted for those reasons. So I would suggest trying again. If you do have a proper release and you feel like it's incorrectly being flagged or rejected, just give it another shot and try again. Maybe you'll get a different person to review your footage or photo, or the computer algorithm will correct itself. If you guys have any other questions about model or property releases, be sure to leave those in the comments below. In our next video, we're going to start talking about how to organize your footage and photos for stock, and then getting into how to start editing them. So I'm excited. Hope you guys will come back, and thanks for watching this video.